Welcome to this guide to sport and exercise medicine as a speciality for medical doctors. My name is Dane and I'm a GP and sport and exercise medicine doctor based in Yorkshire. Over the course of this short video, I'll give you a flavour of what sport and exercise medicine covers as a speciality, and then I'll discuss various options of training. So we'll discuss formal, higher specialist training. I'll also explore the informal route options as well. Or anything varying from having an interest to entering the specialist register as a consultant via a different route. And then finally, I'll also discuss and signpost you to some key resources that will hopefully help you get started on your journey. So firstly, let's have a look at the speciality of SEM, or sport and exercise medicine. Now, there are multiple facets and many call it a very broad church. Ultimately, I think that's what makes SEM very attractive and what I enjoy the most is this variety that comes with it. So post the video below it, you'll see some post video resources, and there'll be a range of links to everything that we've been talking about for you to have a look at further. On there, you should see a link for a full curriculum. This full curriculum will contain everything in the sport and exercise medicine speciality syllabus, so you can have a look there. For the purpose of this video, I've split it into three broad categories, and these are three categories that the Faculty of Sport and Exercise Medicine uses. So that's team care, exercise and health, and musculoskeletal medicine. So firstly, let's have a look at each of them in turn. So with regard to team care or team medicine, so this is usually what most people think of when you talk about sport and exercise medicine. So really, team medicine, you're a generalist and you need to have knowledge and skills in a broad range of areas. So these vary from general practice to pre-participation screening to exercise science to musculoskeletal medicine, and then obviously more specific sports medicine topics, which could also include concussion. So while this isn't an exhaustive list, hopefully this will aid in you reflecting on your own strengths and weaknesses, and help to direct you towards your own learning needs. So do pause the video and have a look. So moving onwards, musculoskeletal medicine is also a very big part of sport and exercise medicine, and as well as in sport and private practice, it's probably one of our key skills to contribute to the NHS. So roles could be anything from MSK triage to musculoskeletal medicine in a primary or a secondary care setting. Understanding biomechanics, having a working knowledge of physiotherapy and exercise prescription, and potentially knowing how to inject an ultrasound may all be extremely useful skills in MSK. But ultimately, before all of that, it's getting good basic anatomy knowledge, examination and diagnosis knowledge first. But in terms of learning, there are many places to learn MSK, so from GPs with an interest, so gypsies, other SEM doctors, orthopedics, physiotherapy, podiatry, sports therapy, amongst many others, but also minor injuries as well. So again, this list isn't meant to be exhaustive, but again should help you to try and pinpoint some of the areas that you may want to spend time in to learn more. I've also found in MSK radiology, not just the ultrasound aspects, really useful. Really observing and starting to learn how to report basic things, so particularly, for example, MRI knees. Again, helpful for learning anatomy and starting to think about other pathologies too. So here's your MSK list. And now moving onwards, exercise and health is our third component. So exercise medicine really, for me, is a really attractive part of sport and exercise medicine. But what it looks like in the NHS is constantly debated. It's likely that we've got a role in education, probably in leadership around PA, and probably in integrating it into our other clinics, but also maybe talking to more complex patients with multimorbidity who are also inactive. Now, there are some great projects that SEM have been involved with. So there's a Public Health England Clinical Champions project going on right now, which provides peer teaching on physical activity. There's also the Moving Medicines project driven by the Faculty of Sport and Exercise Medicine and supported by BASEM, which is an online resource around chronic disease and exercise in terms of what to prescribe, how to prescribe it, and advice for both patients and clinicians. There's also other interesting areas in this kind of section which SEM can do, and these might include pre-surgical optimization and CPET testing, amongst others. In terms of picking the necessary aspects of the SEM curriculum up, there are so many different ways to do this. Obviously, there's theoretical knowledge to pick up, which you can pick up from clinics, books, lectures, and experience working in sports clubs and clinics. But it is a very small field, and I think SEM really comes alive when you've got good mentorship, which then gives you the direction you need. So I think mentorship is critical. Over the last few years, I've personally had some very good mentors, not just SEM doctors, but a range of other allied health professionals. So I would definitely urge you to find someone to support you. Now, BASEM is a great place to meet other clinicians and look for that support. So please do contact us at BASEM, because we might be able to put you in touch with someone with your area. Again, BASEM conferences are a great place to meet other like-minded people. So do come along. Right, so let's have a look. So there are 3 different ways of probably doing SEM training if you want to look at it broadly. So there's higher specialist training, there's informal training, where you go on to just have a special interest, and there's informal training with a view of then mapping to the SEM curriculum and gaining specialist registration later. So becoming a consultant, but via a more informal route, so experiential. So this infographic shows the training pathway. So as you can see on this infographic, there are a clear pathway set out for you. So post-foundation training, so after those 2 years, if you're interested in doing sport and exercise medicine, then you can either do GP training, ACCS, or core medical training. So while at present CMT training is 2 years, it will be changing to a 3-year model, so from August 2019, so do be aware of that. Once the training is done, then the doctor can apply for specialist training. So this is a competitive process, and currently at this time of recording this video, there were 9 places nationally last year for ST3, so the first year of specialist training. So this specialist training is usually 4 years long, and you rotate through a range of specialities to achieve competencies that we've shown before. So on completion of membership exams with the Faculty of Sport and Exercise Medicine and completing training successfully, you can then enter the specialist register as a consultant. So that's one way of doing things, so just be aware. That's the formal SEM training route. So now let's have a look at the non-higher specialist training route. So, this is you want to make it up yourself, gain some interest, gain some experience, and see where it takes you route rather than join a formalised training program. So if you don't want to do higher specialist training, or for example, you just want to do sport and exercise medicine as an interest, so commonly professions such as GP and A&E, there are a lot of doctors that do it as a special interest. So if that is your base speciality, and you still want to learn those key kind of facets, then what I've tried to do here is signpost you some key resources that will hopefully help you along your journey. So firstly, let's have a look at team medicine. So with regards to team medicine, there are a range of resources. So here are some good starting points really. So there's a FIFA football diploma. It's free. And it's really well done, and it's a range of online videos and articles, and basically like an online kind of diploma by just lectures and quizzes. But it has a range of articles, and they do try and keep up to date, and they're releasing more and more modules all the time. So for concussion, there's the RFU, so Rugby Football Union Head Case Online Learning, so that's worth consideration. Then there's UCAD, so the UK Anti-Doping guys have some great online resources around doping, and you can complete their online learning again to get an accredited status. There are also a range of books here that are pictured that are fantastic. So the Specialty Bible for SEM is Bruckner and Kahn, so it's probably a good starting place as a reference textbook. But the Oxford Handbook's also a really good starting point, and it's really nicely and succinctly done, as are most Oxford Handbooks. Also, don't forget a pre-hospital qualification. In order to start covering sport, you need a pre-hospital qualification. This is usually a qualification recognised by the Royal College of Surgeons. There is, again, a position statement that you can see in the resource section telling you about qualifications in pre-hospital care and what's recognised. But to give you a kind of heads up, the FA ATMIF course, the RFL, so Rugby Football League IMOF course, and the RFU Intermediate Care in Sport courses are all great starting points to get you into sport and covering matches. So when we talk about exercise and health, Public Health England has got some great resources on their website. Motivate to Move is written by Brian Johnson, a Welsh GP, and there's some fantastic resources there around each condition and what exercises can be given and what that should look like. Moving Medicine is new, and it's been done and really led by the Faculty of Sport and Exercise Medicine, particularly Natasha Jones and Hamish Reid, and they've done a fantastic job in pulling together a range of people to create online resources aimed at clinicians and patients around what advice to give with regards to physical activity and that chronic disease. And then you've got a range of other books here, but the American College of Sports Medicine's book is probably the most well known. But also remember, there is also infographics around physical activity aimed at children, aimed at adults, and aimed at a few different special populations. So again, you can download those from the PHE website. There's also a range of other organisations to be aware of. So the British Society of Lifestyle Medicine is new, and they also have a very recent exam that they brought out as well. Likewise, the Royal College of GP, so RCGP, has a toolkit for physical activity and lifestyle as well. So there's lots going on in this field, so do have a look and see where you can get involved. With regards to MSK, well, there are lots and lots of resources. These are just some of the books that might help you to get started. So before really getting involved into MSK, relearning anatomy for many of us is probably our first starting point. Personally, I found Ackland's Anatomy, so the online videos, very useful, so you can search for those. They're paid again. There's also another resource called KenHub, which is again some online videos, and again they're paid for. The book Living Surface Anatomy is very well written as well, and has kind of got a more MSK context, sports medicine context to it. And there are also a range of other resources that you can see here. Again, Bruckner and Kahn is well written and will cover most things you need. And the BGSM podcasts and videos, which also include examination videos amongst others. And then also not to forget, BASEM's own library of e-learning is growing rapidly. Over the last few years, there's a large number of videos from conferences, courses, and then bespokely made e-learning just for BASEM. So again, do have a look at that. All of that e-learning comes with your BASEM membership anyway. So that hopefully gives you an overview of some key starting points. But again, there's a full, more exhaustive list on the resources list. So do have a click and a link to the link and have a look through. In terms of courses, there are probably two other places to go. But it's worth having a look at the foundation course run by BASEM, which is a residential course done over 3.5 days, covering nearly all the key topics in sport and exercise medicine. So really good grounding. I think between that and a pre-hospital course, that would be enough to get you just started in sport. And then from there, you could move forwards. So in terms of formalising education, well, to formalise education, have a clearer structure, you could do an academic postgraduate course. So traditionally, that's either been a diploma or an MSc. The main difference between a diploma and MSc is just that the MSc has a dissertation component, but both are generally recognised. There are free courses like the FIFA diploma, but it doesn't cover things like the exercise medicine aspect, so be aware of that. There's a range of other courses to choose from when you start to consider sport and exercise medicine, and there's online courses or distance learning courses. There's blended courses, so mixture of face-to-face and online, or there's completely face-to-face. Now, the BASEM website has a full list of universities that offer MScs in sport and exercise medicine, So I guess there's many things to consider, from the style of the course, the tutors or the design of the course, perhaps all the way through to contact time and the amount of experience they might give you. And again, all of that will depend on what else you have going on. But do have a look, there's lots available. So the other option you could do is using the Faculty of Sport and Exercise Medicine syllabus. So again, link in the resource page. You could create your own learning opportunities, meet all the syllabus kind of needs, and then sit the Faculty of Sport and Exercise Medicine exams instead. If you do decide to do it your own way rather than an academic course, then probably BASEM's courses are a great starting point. So I do the residential foundation course first, use that to cover your key areas, get some experience, and then probably book on to doing the BASEM revision courses. Now, the exam's made up of 2 parts. There's a part 1, which is a written exam, and a part 2, which is an OSCE. And you need to complete both to gain membership. So gaining membership really gives you recognition as to your competence in sport and exercise medicine, and it is widely now recognised as a gold standard in the UK. But remember, you can work in sport and exercise medicine without any of these things. But it's worth bearing in mind that to formalise that education and put yourself in a place where you feel competent, I think these would be reasonable steps to take over time. So in terms of a summary of the pathway, I think the organisations to get to know better is the Faculty of Sport and Exercise Medicine. They've got an affiliate membership that you can do before you become a member and complete their exams. There's BASEM, which is probably one of the oldest sport and exercise medicine organisations in the world. And it's a membership organisation running courses and conferences that will hopefully support you. And then obviously with the BASEM membership, you also get the British Journal of Sports Medicine, which is a great journal, now rated one of the highest rated SEM journals worldwide. Which is probably thanks to fantastic leadership by Karim Khan and his editorial team. So again, you get the BJSM, so that will keep you up to date with topics. But it's also worth following some of these people on social media, as they'll also post and tweet more current events to keep you up to date. So I think there are good places to start. In terms of summarising what we've talked about so far, remember that you can either choose higher specialist formal training or you can go down a more informal route. And this might include an MSc, or you might pick up the knowledge yourself via BASEM courses or through your own experience, clinics and learning. And you could then formalise it later with a membership exams and formalise it further after a few years by potentially trying to get CSER by mapping the curriculum, getting on the specialist register. I think I'd caveat that and just say CSER is not easy. It's a very long process. It's a very tough process, and generally most of the people who've done the CSER route, it's taken them many years to collate this. So if you are thinking about joining the specialist register and you're fairly early on in training, so possibly F1, F2 or early SHO years, then I'd definitely recommend going down the specialist training route. However, if you want to do it as an interest, then perhaps an MSc or a membership exams alone with your base speciality is enough, or doing BASEM courses and a pitch side course might be enough to just do it as a bit of an interest on the side. So there's definitely different levels of where you can take sport and exercise medicine. So I guess there are many options, and I guess the best way to really get started is to immerse yourself, come to BASEM and Faculty Sports Medicine conferences, speak to those practicing SEM, either as an interest or as in a career, come and join the foundation course and get a taster. And if you're really interested in taking it further, then at BASEM we'd be happy to have a chat and look at giving you advice around what's best for you. Personally, I did the same, so I contacted BASEM, went on a few courses, and then found mentors through BASEM that then helped me with choosing the right path for me. So hopefully that helps, and that's a roundup of what is a short video on SEM careers. Should you have any further questions, don't hesitate to email us at BASEM, and do take the time to have a look at the resources that we signposted. We'll endeavour our best to keep those links up to date, but do let us know if any are broken or have changed. And hopefully we hope to see you at a BASEM event soon. So BASEM is a charity, and our sole focus really is on improving SEM education and standards. So do get in touch anytime, as we're very passionate about this. So thank you for listening, and we hope to see you somewhere soon.